Let's make sure that this is going to launch. Hi, welcome back to the cronecast at the Rising Moon. My name is Elaine. On this channel, I do yes and no tarot. I do predictive tarot. I do active magic, candle magic tarot. I do candle magic tarot. And I also do the spirit guide weekly. What do your spirit guides need you to know for the week of the date range between April 5th and April 11th, 2021. Remember, the messages from this particular reading will manifest over the course of 1 to 4 weeks. That's how they all work. Got a close-up of the piles. It's a pick a card presentation as usual. Hey, before we get started, please don't forget to hit the like button. Please don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to give it a share, that's helpful too. What you would do here is concentrate and see which pile calls out to you. All of the candles are anointed with a separate conjure oil. This week, they're all also anointed first with something called double fast oil. See which one calls out to you. I do ask that you stop, meditate, and see which one calls out to you versus picking by, I always pick pile number 1, I always pick pile number 2. My particular reading style just works better if you see which one calls out to you, because every week I switch the focus around from group to group. So what's going to happen next? It's the bad sound and hopefully smooth and sail backwards. That goes on. There we go. Here comes the bad sound. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right. Tell me to make anybody seasick there. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the cronecast. We're going to see what's coming up this week. I hope you had a good week. We're headed into a holiday weekend. Hopefully everybody gets some rest. Let's get our housekeeping out of the way. Here we go. The candles this week are pink and lavender because I think they're pretty, and that's about the only reason I chose them. Let's get this out of the way. All right. Here we go. All right. I don't know about everybody else, but that was a kind of busy week for me, and I'm feeling it in terms of my energy. I was just talking to I had a client at my office earlier today too. We were talking about how we sometimes need to treat ourselves like we're computers. It's time for a reboot. Here we go. All right, everybody. File number 1. Timestamps will be edited in after the broadcast. File number 1, your candle is anointed with Irresistible Me. That is another one of those drawing conjure oils. That one's from Art of the Root. It can be used in any type of magic having to do with needing to exert your influence over something or someone. And so it can be good for prosperity magic, for business magic. It's actually kind of a really all-purpose one. It's often used in love magic as well. So day and night, remember, things can turn around almost without warning sometimes. We think we know what the future looks like, but you know, there could be something coming at any moment that will turn things around. I've got truth as well. I don't use this oracle deck as much as other ones in personal readings. I've recently started doing it. I'm finding it really, really helpful. It's the Sacred Destiny Oracle. I have grieve your losses. Hey, never suppress your sadness. There's a lot of kind of pressure within the spirituality community to like always look on the bright side, raise your vibration, live in the attitude of gratitude. Hey, that's great, but don't use it for emotional repression. If you've had loss, if you've had heartache, if you've had pain, if you've had trauma, in order to release that emotion, you do need to process it. Don't get stuck in the energy. Try not to dwell there. Don't, because that's a lack mindset, sometimes a victim mentality. But it is important to confront that which you have lost, that which has altered you or changed you, so that you can release it and move on. All right, within the next few weeks, Irresistible Me, and within the next few weeks, that's from the Angel Answers card. Clean It Up comes to us from the Wisdom Oracle. That's usually about, sometimes it's about downsizing, sometimes it's about organization, sometimes it's about putting your environment in order simply so you'll feel more peaceful. Angel of Love from the Energy Oracle with rest and rejuvenation. It's time for some self-care is what that means. I have Alone in the World. That can be that feeling of isolation, solitude. Remember, basically, we're all alone. Even if you're paired up, even if you're from a family of 10, realistically, you can have support, but most things come down to you dealing with them, you helping yourself, you living in your most powerful energy. All right, I have protection, strong protective magic for the family and the home. I just did a giant energy cleanse earlier this week because I was doing a demonic entity removal. And whenever I do that, I need to make sure my energetic space is like pristine. Love is your energy. Love being the opposite energy of fear. We're all prone to anxiety as empaths. So living in the energy of love. And how do you live in the energy of love? It is not simply about like having a person or having a family. It is trying to find the beauty to celebrate within the world around you, loving your existence to the best of your ability. And it's okay if it's not always. Like sometimes you can wake up in a bad mood, things can go wrong. You can get caught in the why me of it all. Switch it around as soon as you can. And it's not because you're being shamed for having negative emotions. It is because essentially you will feel better, you will get more done. Like energy attracts like energy. If you are living in an energy of celebration, of gratitude, of trying to find that which is positive, things come to you more easily. And again, it's not about emotional repression. If you allowing yourself to receive love even after injury, it can be very challenging because we get our guards up. Allow yourself to receive love from the people around you as well. We also have desert passage. Trust there's a divine plan with grace and gratitude. Through gratitude, joy expands. So one of the things that can be really frustrating within, again, this community, the tarot community, the spirituality community, is when people don't have what they want in their life and they're told, well, be grateful for your blessings, you're blocking your blessings. One of my very least favorite things is when you know you deserve love, that's when you'll receive it, which is like borderline cruel to say to somebody who wants love and doesn't have it. Well, you don't have it because you don't know you deserve it. That got really, really mixed up as a message. A lot of things get turned into these little blurbs and people don't explain what they really mean by that. To really have good and healthy love in your life, you have to have a good and healthy love for yourself. And that's really all it means. Emotional healing will bring you people who are healed. You will be able to recognize those who are not meant to be in your life because maybe they're lagging behind a little bit. Those people who might take more than they would give. Knowing you deserve love is simply knowing your own worth. It really, like, there's a lot of things within this community that can make it sound to somebody who doesn't have what they're hoping for, like, hey, you're not personing correctly. And all it really genuinely means is understand that even if you're not perfect, you're a really good person, as long as you're trying to be. That's really all good or bad is, a series of choices. Here we go. Let's go with the Celestial Tarot. Let's see what's coming up for the Irresistible Me group. All right, what do we got for the coming weeks for the Irresistible Me group? What are the first couple weeks of April looking like here? There we go. There we go. Let's find out what's going on. A couple poppers. Can I get some poppers, please? A lot of flippers, no poppers yet. There we go. Three of Wands. That's that anticipation, waiting for something to happen. It's also opportunities brought to you through your own efforts. There we go. Okay. Okay, I have the Prince of Wands in the upright. That is the start of something new. I have the Queen of Wands in reverse after frustration, feeling thwarted, feeling held back. This is feeling almost at odds with the universe around you sometimes. With the Five of Wands in reverse, this is the restoration of peace after a time of confusion. The Emperor in reverse, ye old emotional abuser, with the Nine of Wands in reverse, that's basically a battle being over, being able to drop your guard. Ace of Pentacles in reverse. I have the Prince of Cups in reverse. Well, something's going to make that person mad. All right, the Empress in the upright. Three of Cups in the upright. That is celebration. It's gathering. It's reunions. Got a couple threes on the scene. That's one of the cards of personal balance. It's also one of the numerological markers for love. Like when you're doing love magic, you often tie three knots, all kinds of things like that. The Star in the upright is the card for Aquarius. It is also the card of hope and dreams coming true. Well, this is a very positive energy that you're heading into after a time of not being in a particularly positive energy. I think you had to confront some frustrations, and they kind of gained a little bit too much momentum and started like usurping all areas of your life. You've been doing a better job of balancing through like mood management, is what this also looks like. Eight of Cups in the upright, that's going on a spiritual journey. Ace of Swords in reverse with the Four of Swords in reverse, with the Magician in the upright, making it happen again after a time of feeling like you've been broken. I have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, very frustrated energy. The Lovers in the upright, that can be that's the need to make a choice as often as it has anything to do with soulmates. It can be soulmates. King of Pentacles in reverse. I have the Two Pentacles in reverse with the Chariot in reverse. Three of Pentacles in the upright, 333. Two of Wands in reverse, that is again making a choice. And I have Justice in the upright. Let's take one more. Death card in reverse. Well, I like that. That's a new beginning. It can be closure as well. All right, let's talk about what we've got on the table. What's coming up? Ooh, things are easing as you head into April. You're coming off of like 2021 almost seemed like, and you were really looking forward to the new year. 2021 almost seemed like it was 2020 on steroids in terms of this never ending like Mobius strip of frustration for you. You have been trying your very best to manage that. It comes in waves for you still, and it is because you have been trying to recover, as most of the people in my collective have been trying to recover from like usually a traumatic emotional wound. Now, let's face it, almost everybody currently has some form of PTSD because we're a year deep into where did our lives go. Being out and about in the world today, I kind of noticed it's like it's pre-COVID levels of traffic again, and how it both felt wrong and then felt weird as well. It was like, oh gosh, where is everybody going? And remembering that the world is just kind of coming back to life as befits spring. Remember that you are returning to a time of power in your life. All of the stasis in your life, all of the rest period was so you could confront, grieve your losses, and move forward into essentially that day and night card is you're leaving behind something as you move into a new day. Truth and love is your energy. Within the next few weeks, apparently your dry desert is ending, which is very, very good. Nine of Wands in reverse. The Nine of Wands in the upright is a card of, it can be being on your guard. It can be like, reinforcing boundaries. It often is the card of a battle that is almost over, but you can't see the end of it. When the Nine of Wands is in reverse, it means the battle's over. And with Ace of Pentacles in reverse, my gosh, it's not a moment too soon. It is really as if what you're coming into is a time of things finally manifesting. More is coming to you. It doesn't have a lot to do with work. It's something you've already put work in on. It could be emotional fulfillment. It likely has to do with your internal state. There is an external figure here with the Emperor in reverse. Somebody who has been living to try and make things worse for you versus better. Things are not going in their direction. This Empress is the goddess energy. It's the feminine divine. You've had more on your side than you believe yourself to have had. And you are moving on, but it's in a celebratory manner. You're leaving something in the past, and it's time to. Every now and then we can get caught up in, and because I do have so many people who are like almost savagely traumatized on some level, it can be very very difficult, very challenging to truly release the past. And you'll think you've released it, and then there'll be these resurgences. Remember, if it was a deep wound, it's okay that every now and then something triggers it or upsets you again. Just do the actual like conscious work to say, all right, I don't want to live there anymore. I'm like, yes, it was bad, but it's gone now. It's over, and I'm moving forward. Enjoy the here and now, enjoy this moment, and enjoy this day. That is always the best way to approach your life. A lot of times, because I do a forward thinking, like a forward looking form of work, I spend a lot of time looking forward. It's good to have a balance. Yes, it's important to know, hey, is something coming up? Is anything going to change? And a lot of people, after a year of almost lockdown and quarantine, ask me, like, is anything good coming up? And it's because we're all a little bit worn out by our day to day, which doesn't have a lot of variation in it. At times like that, when you can't find something in your life to celebrate, to enjoy, create it. Like, have a movie marathon. There's been this big thing on YouTube where, and I've really been enjoying it, where there's walking tours of cities, as they're all kind of very quiet and still. There are train ride videos. There are ways to, like, kind of change your atmosphere, even if you're not getting out there very much. And hopefully we'll all be getting out there more and more as, vaccines are more readily available. And hopefully COVID, which I haven't been seeing showing up in the cards as much, is going to be something that will someday be in our rearview mirror. There's a lot in your rearview mirror, though, and you're getting conscious of it. Like, you're chomping at the bit for this new beginning to begin. And that's part of the reason that this frustration, this agitation is present. Your new beginning is very close in. And by very close in, I mean it's very close in. 10 days, maybe, like maybe less than that. You were broken, but you're fixed. You are different, but not in a bad way. Alteration of self is growth. That's all it is. If you feel like, I used to be a different person before this terrible thing happened to me, remember, you can go back and salvage that which was good about yourself. But if you're changed in the aftermath of healing, really all that is growth, because you have a different viewpoint. Hopefully you've learned lessons. And that's why calamity befalls us, by the way, to help teach us something. And like, people hear that, and the worse the injury was, the more fury it can cause them, because why would the divine kick my butt? The divine is never trying to kick our butt. It's never trying to kick our butt. We have a tendency to want to hold on to things that are not serving us. And the more tightly we cling to them when they're not really for us, the more wrenching and traumatic the parting can be. And that's not to, like, put the blame on you for any suffering you've experienced. It's to give it perspective. And by the way, that does not apply to all things. Like, if you're talking about like a ridiculously traumatic childhood, that no one's ever blaming you for being hurt. No one's ever blaming you for your obstacles, and no one's ever blaming you for your struggles. Certainly not the divine. All that ever means is try to take the perspective of, if I make different choices, I will have different outcomes. Your formative experience is there to give you some lessons to learn throughout the course of your life. And some of us have really, really rough starts. And as I'm always telling people, we choose our existence. And there are some people who, including myself, who came from the type of childhood where it takes a really long time to gain the perspective of, like, why in the world would I choose that? That's ludicrous as a notion. It's not. The more powerful you are, the more extreme the circumstances you are likely to be born into. And it is because it is teaching you about the role of power in a life and how it can be misused. And that is not to say that every powerful person out there had their butt kicked as a child energetically, but what it is to say is that they were given an opportunity to examine their relationship to power to try and get it right. Some people never get it right, and they always abuse power. Some people learn the lesson and understand the last thing they want to do as a powerful person, because you have the Magician, you're powerful. You have the Queen of Wands in reverse, you're powerful. You can get a little volcanic about it. And you don't like that part about yourself. You are powerful. Many of the lessons learned in childhood have to do with something you requested about what you wanted to understand about power. And it's because when we're here in the here and now, suffering seems like it's everything, but suffering does not last. Sometimes we try and cling to the past and look for a lot of answers instead of looking for the lessons to be learned about self and others and our place in the world in the circumstances that come to us. And it is a hard time. I was just talking to somebody about all the trauma that my client had in their life, and trying to, like, find the reason for suffering. It ends. When you're in the middle of something painful, one of the most helpful things you can do is simply tell yourself, this will not be always. Now is not always. And right now does not predict tomorrow or the next day. Keep trying and things do change. All right. Action is being taken in a difficult matter where there's been back and forth all over the place. There are choices to be made. You slip back and forth between a depressive and an anxious energy sometimes. Root chakra work will always help you. Root chakra work will always help you. But the other thing is like if you're really just kind of losing the plot, this whole love is your energy, indulge in something. Whether it's taking a nice walk on a nice day, whether it's allowing yourself like, a dessert that particularly like lights you up and makes you enjoy things, stop, take the time and savor it. Create an experience that you know you will enjoy and like go into it with the mindset of enjoying it to the fullest extent that you can. And that's one of the things that can raise your vibe. What have I got up here? The Two of Pentacles in reverse is a need to prioritize. Things are working out quite well in your work life. Like there's a choice to be made around that. Your work with others is the thing that is actually going to help bring you into a more settled energy and away from this frustration, anxiety, and depression. When your own inner world is not delightful, focusing outwardly can help, which means finding people that you enjoy to be around. Being of service is another thing that can truly help. Two of Wands in reverse. There's so much about making a choice, restoring balance with the Justice card, and then a new beginning. Fairness and equality are two of the things that are on the table here. And you've been struggling with that for a little bit. Life has felt a little unfair, I think, for a while. This alone in the world energy, you really have felt like you are soldiering down a long, lonely path by yourself. And it's a little bit true. It's a little bit true, but it's for a good reason. It's because increase and establishing of independence were two of the things that you were trying to accomplish. Through gratitude, joy expands is another great one. You don't struggle with that very much, though. Like you're thankful for almost anything that comes to you, and you get like a little guilty around the thought that like there are still things that you want. Things are turning around swiftly throughout the month of April. The first week brings you a couple of the first 3 days of this date range. It's going to be a little bit feeling like you're fencing with something. Like there's this like feeling of like approaching a foil and like needing to have your A game up. But the thing is you do. You've learned so much about who you are, what you really want. There's this figure in your life who tests that, who challenges it. They're going to try in a couple of different ways to kind of come at you. And just don't blink. Like, just don't blink. That's really all it's going to take. It's kind of their charge of the light brigade. And you're going to be the survivor on this one. Sad embrace, that is that depressed energy. You've been struggling with it again. Like, and it comes in waves. It comes in waves. Here's what I think is going on, group one. I think that you actually struggled with clinical depression and you didn't get it treated, and that's okay. It looks like you went for mood management and a couple of other things. Spark, follow the leader, and movement. You're leaving it behind. And it's been such a part of your life for so long that I think you've forgotten who you are without that energy. since you've never actually been alone and you're very protected, again, within the next few weeks, there is going to be an opportunity to to resolve a situation that has made your life a little bit of a mess. And it's also like left you feeling very desolate at times. As I said, the first few days of next week, that energy is, it's funny though, because it's like, it's going to be funny to you. It's going to be funny to you. This figure who thinks they're all powerful, this person in your life who has caused you so much grief, they don't have that power any longer. They're just kind of an irritant. You have finally come to the determination that you'll figure it out somehow. Like you're living in that energy, that you're not so attached to, I want this, I want that, it's got to be this way for it to be okay. Is like more and more you're accepting, like, hey, if the thing I was hoping for doesn't come to me, it's because there's something different. And you have a flexibility, you've developed that flexibility that this person will never have. And they are relating to you as a former version of yourself. Okay. Remember that part. Remember that part. There is information to be gleaned on, like, how to even increase the feeling of victory with that person. And it will also give you a chance to see yourself through that person's eyes, in a way that you'll like, because you know how inaccurate it always was. It's interesting because it's not a conflict any longer. It's not a conflict that you're dealing with. It is the messy resolution to a long campaign. And again, something of the, like, this person has been trying to exert influence on you. And they have a little bit of a sick relationship to a feeling of power. And more, whenever they try and exert power over you, it makes them feel awful because they don't get anything they're hoping from you any longer. And that will become more and more prevalent as a thing to watch out for in the coming weeks, particularly at the start of next week. And then just prepare, because it's not bad. It's not bad. If I'm making it sound bad, it's not. Actually feel more and more powerful and more confident. And the more you seem powerful and the more confident you are, the more that, like, person, that entity, and it could be a personal relationship, it could be a family relationship, it could be a work relationship, but the more that they understand that they have no ground to gain, the more they just kind of want to emigrate to a different land. Like they don't really want to be hanging out anywhere near you in any capacity at all any longer. And you should use that to your advantage. And a lot of the things that you have been trying to achieve and how you feel about yourself and how you feel about your life are falling into place in the next week. And you're kind of going to maybe be feeling about 5 years younger right about Wednesday. There's this giant shift in energy, and it's not a tower. It is that feeling of you will know you were protected. New love. Make the effort and free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life with great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take in new love. I didn't see anybody in that particular reading that had to do with. I think that is just something that is still in the offing for you. I'm going to go to Spooky on this simply because Spooky is a divine message deck, simply because I want a little bit more clarity on something. What is that deal with the Emperor in reverse there, that abuse of power? 6 of Wands in the upright. That is progress. It is a success. It is victory. It can be actual physical movement. 9 of Swords in reverse. The end of fear, the end of anxiety. Sleeping better, getting more rest, feeling more confident. Ace of Wands in reverse. It's the end of something versus frustration this time. Oh, it's also the need to not take any action. 10 of Cups in the upright. One more card. Can I get one more card, please? I don't know what you're saying yet, dude. What are we saying here? Can I get one more? One more? No? Yes? No? Please? Hello? Really? I try to let things drop out on this particular deck, and like he's like, I do have a tendency to refer to this deck with a pronoun. There we go. And it's because it is a divine message deck, which is a tool to channel what I channel, which is the Archangel Gabriel, this advanced spirit of communication. It's the spirit of air. Okay, you're going to be much happier and feeling far more secure. There is progress in your life on multiple fronts, including personally. I love this card for being a card of miracles as well. There's just, with gratitude, joy expands. This is a joyful card as well. There isn't a lot that you need to do. It's a little bit of a slow week in terms of, it's been a little bit of a slow week for about a year in terms of like what's happening in the world. What can you look forward to? There has been something you have put so much work in on that has been inching at like sloth speeds towards completion. And things are resolving. Things are resolving in that particular energy. And you did actually, like, you did everything you were meant to. And it's been hard on you. And your spirit guides are trying to tell you it is time to rest some, because you're not good about that at all. You're not good about that at all. Make sure you're resting. Make sure you're eating. Make sure you're doing all the things that constitute self-care. Look for that like conflict energy, that like contentious energy to fade away by the end of next week. The end of next week is like, it's almost like you can feel something departing. All right, so that was group number 1. Timestamps will be edited in after the broadcast. If you'd like to book me for a private reading, there's a link to my website in the description box down below, and I would love a chance to read for you in real life. Thanks so much for joining me. Let's move on to pile number 2, Fireball. There we go. Okay, Crow deck is bringing us the predictive spread. Communication is what anoints the candle. This is the color of the crown chakra. Honest to goodness, I wasn't really trying to evoke the energy of any of the chakras with this. I just, those were the candles I walked by, so I grabbed them. I did use one, kind of funnily enough. There is a little bit of a story with that candle. It was broken, like it's got a crack in it. And so that's why I chose communication, to reestablish the lines of communication. All right, I have Rose Garden. Look for the beauty in the world and your life will be beautiful. Building blocks, okay. Communicate clearly. All right, I have the world. Community. Blinded to pain. Make each day count. Don't always like live your life hoping for the next thing to happen. If you stop, if you try, you can find something wonderful in almost every moment. Even if it's, like I'm always telling people, these conjure oils smell incredible. My house is actually like the perfect human temperature for comfort right now. There's always something that you can find that it's like, no, that's a boon to my existence. Trinket 5, manifesting money and income. Well, hurrah. I have passion and pleasure, savor your life. Gosh, that's funny. That's exactly what I was just saying. Embracing enthusiasm, shout to the heavens with happiness. Oh, lucky, lucky group number 2, wisdom. Oh, and then forgive and forget. Hey, once something's done, try to release it. I'm always trying to tell people forgiveness is not about what happened to you. It's not. It's not about saying what you did is okay, or that terrible thing that happened to me is okay. It is saying, I don't want to be in pain anymore. And so I am leaving this behind, both for my good. And if it involves another person, again, forgiveness is just releasing your tie to something toxic. So try not to think it's about the other person. I felt another reader who I really enjoy was using this very, very blunt oracle deck that said something like revenge is like taking it in your own heart. And I was like, oh wow, rough imagery, but also true. It's like ingesting something toxic. Let go, because resentment is poison. Let go, because if you let go, you can go back to being you before that person ever influenced you. Okay, Six of Pentacles in the upright. That's good balanced energy. There's sorry, there's a Scales of Justice in this as well. Didn't notice that until just now. I love this deck. Every day I feed the crows. I got really upset the other day because I hadn't seen my little one-legged crow in a very, very long time. And I was starting to get very, very worried about him because I have an affinity for this. He has both legs, just one of them doesn't really work. And I saw him as I was out walking my dogs the other day. And for some reason, that just made me very, very hopeful because I thought something had happened to what was one of my, I consider him a pet crow. There we go. All right. You coming? All right. All right. This is the Sun. Well, I'm glad I insisted on it. There we go. I have the Five of Cups in reverse. I have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse with the Five of Cups in the Four Cups in the upright. Ten of Swords in reverse. Seven of Cups in reverse. Six of Wands in the upright. Nine of Swords in reverse. Nine of Wands in the upright. Ace of Wands in reverse. Five of Wands in the upright. Oh, back and forth and bickering. Death card in reverse. The Magician in the upright. Page of Swords in reverse. Two of Swords in reverse. Choices. Seven of Swords in the upright. King of Pentacles in reverse. Hey, the King of Pentacles in reverse at that exact same spot in the last one. Seven of Swords is kind of tiptoeing around sometimes. Sometimes it's spying. It can be lies or deceit, manipulation. You don't owe, there's a situation in your life that involves a conflict. You don't owe the other person the full truth. You don't. You just don't. Like, you're not honor bound to be like an awesome human being to them if they have like not been an awesome human being to you. That's not same thing as saying like abandon your values, your morals, your ethics. It's just that if there's something that you don't want another person to know because they have a tendency to use things against you, you know, it's a lie of omission is okay. That's all. You can make the choice not to be completely above board. And it's not that it will change you. It is a little bit about self-protection up there. The Empress and the Queen of Wands side by side. Wow, that's a good manifesting energy. There is something where you're like kind of, that's Eight of Swords in the upright. Don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt that you have the power. Don't doubt that you're protected. You have a new beginning that is available to you. King of Cups in reverse. I'm sorry, make that face because that's my card for a narcissist. With the Justice card in reverse. I want one more, please. And that's what it is. The Moon in the upright. I want one more. The World. Okay. An end to a confusing cycle. So weirdly enough, like we have that, you know, emotional manipulation card that can come with the King of Cups in reverse. That is likely the person who, like, if they're going on a fact-finding mission about like where you are in life, you don't really need to tell them anything. And they might. They're feeling pretty aggrieved around something. You've been trying to head towards a new beginning. And it's here. And it is in some instances about a job, because I do have a manifesting energy around a position. You should be receiving word on that around an opportunity that will continue to bring increase into your life. That's somewhere around Thursday, Thursday. It's somewhere around Thursday, Wednesday night, Thursday morning. Be a little aware that you're in for a bit of emotional purging over the weekend. It's healing. It's healing. It really is. It's a release so that you can, just forgive and forget. You're getting rid of something. There is this feeling of like reprioritizing what you think is important in your life. As I said, I've got a job coming for someone or for several people because we have situations that repeat. There's progress in terms of wellness as well. I don't think you've been feeling as well as you used to. Like you've struggled a little bit with your health, mostly out of exhaustion. It can just make you feel super duper depleted. The energy of like releasing all of this like insecurity and pain around your future, which is what I think is kind of like rising up over the course of the weekend. It's a new beginning, actually. It's just a new beginning. And you know it. I have almost nothing on personal relationships. I have that community card, which can be friends. Don't forget to reach out. Um, you're not good at that. You're not good at that. You're somebody who withdraws into self. I do have the energy of, this is one of my cards for magical spell work, which is the Seven of Cups. It's in reverse. Two different cards here tell me that there's a manifestation energy that is like, you're going to see it day by day by day over the course of about the next, it's not long. It's only like 5 to 7 days. It's short term. And I do think that is genuinely next week. You don't need to worry, then you're not going to. You're not going to. Somebody is. Somebody is going to be worrying, and they're going to try and include you in that. They're going to try and frighten you. Remember, this is not a truthful person in your life. That blinded to pain, they're going to take one last shot at trying to pull your strings. And it is their last shot. And then you're done. I do think you have somebody who, and it's not a death, but you do have a figure who has departed in your life. Communicate clearly. Communicate clearly. What is that? It has to do with your security. Boy, someone is like, they're outright lying is the problem. Like, and the problem you have with this is you're not that person. Now, anybody can like tell a fib. Anybody can like, sincerely, it's not, hey, that haircut looks great on you, or whatever, when it's like, oh my goodness, do you know there's a bald patch in the back? Like, sincerely, we can all like need to bend the truth a little bit to fit the needs of the moment without it being like, ah, you're a shocking liar. This person is a shocking liar. And they're so blatant about it that you kind of didn't know it for a really, really long time. And they're going to take one last run at just lying themselves blue in the face. And you can sit there and watch them turn azure. And you don't need to do anything. And you do not owe them a response. You do not owe them a response. That's what this, like, you don't need to tell them the truth energy is about. Somebody is trying to put the blame on you for something that they did. And you do not owe them a response. And they're going to lean in pretty heavily on trying to put the blame on you. you're going to be able to tell how strong you really have become, because the Eight of Swords is normally, like, it can be a card of incarceration. It is a card of feeling trapped. It can be self-doubt. In this instance, it's a card of being like in a fortress. You have become your own fortress. You have become your own refuge. This person doesn't grow. Like, they're not somebody who really grows. And so they're having trouble understanding that you have. Savor your life and shout to the heavens with happiness. It's so close to being a celebratory energy. Building blocks. Communicate clearly. Blinded to pain. Blinded to pain. I'm going to like go to a couple of oracle decks here to see if I can get a little bit of clarity on that. What's going on with that blinded to pain thing? It's such a weird time to do tarot still, because our lives still just don't take the same shape. Like, you know, this time, well, like I would say 14 months ago, you could talk about, hey, you're going to have lunch with somebody. This is going to be it. Someone's going to be spilling the tea, you know, at a party that you go to. And it's much less likely to happen now. That you have a figure in your life that you have been trying to banish like they're a demon, and because they kind of are, and they are taking one last shot at terrorizing you with what they think will be the thing that is a control factor for you. You're going to be able to recognize it, and once again, you don't owe them a response. You don't owe them a response. They're going to act like you do, but you don't. You're fine as you are. Talisman, Field of Dreams. Making a choice. I just want one more. Okay, I'm going to take you. Unexpected visitors. This is surprises. You're going to have an opportunity to find out just how much stronger you are than you think you are next week. And that is not to say something challenging and frightening will happen. What it does mean is that what is happening will not faze you even a little bit. And there's a time in your life where what that figure is trying to do would have derailed you and like potentially triggered you into helplessness. And instead, you're just going to, I think, be sitting with the new version of you watching this and wondering, how'd I ever fall for that? Because you're such a different person than that person is. Like you're earnest. Let's see. Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. Give your relationship a chance. Codependency. Getting to know each other and engagement. Listen, I have had almost nothing with romantic pairings of late, and I'm not really sure why. I think it's because like I'm just being asked to focus on something almost entirely different. I have so many people in my collective who had to heal from codependency. And just because there hasn't been anything about relationships does not mean that it's time to figure out how to live an entirely solitary life. What it does mean is every now and then, the guides don't tell us what's going on, because there are certain areas of our life that we're not meant to know everything. We're not meant to know everything. You've been recovering from something. That figure that I'm talking about, the one who just exploited something about you. Ten of Pentacles in the upright. You've been trying to move past that for kind of a long time, and you actually are past it. And this coming week is the day that you finally get to go, oh, you don't have any power over me. 10 of Wands, oh, it is. It's complete cycles all over the place. 10, 10. 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Wands. We get 7 of Wands in reverse. That is a pick your battles energy. That is knowing when to fight and when to step back. There is something that is coming to a resounding end. And you can just watch the coals burn down to ash. You don't need to do anything. The Fool in reverse, which is starting again, older, wiser, having learned the lessons. Seven of Swords in the upright with the Nine of Swords in the upright. Can I get one more? That's a downer of an energy to leave it on there, spooks. There we go. Spooky is a divine message deck. It means it doesn't really read like a tarot deck. It's very hard to explain. It is one of the ways that like I get clearer messages about the readings I've done. The Moon in the upright, I want one more. Someone tries to manipulate you with your fears. Don't engage, it's over. It's over. They have no power over you, but they lie to you to try and trip you out and confuse you. And they don't understand that you are kind of a solitary unit now. They have no power because they don't matter to you. They don't matter to you. It is kind of a gradual, you really are, like you put a ton of work into healing something. And this figure in your life, they're going to try and trigger you. And they've done it in the past. And they're expecting a particular outcome. And it's not going to work even a little bit. And you're going to know you're free and that it's over. And that is so close in that I can't even, like, I don't know when it is, but it's very, 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 very close. So like normally these are like, hey, 1 to 4 weeks. It's not 4 weeks. I don't think it's 3 weeks. It'd be a miracle if it was 2. It does appear to be next week. Okay. So group number 2, communication. Someone's going to be communicating with you. They are trying to play a game with you that they have played in the past because they're gamesmen and not like in a fun way. Don't respond. You don't need to. You don't need to justify anything. You don't need to engage with them. You don't need to do anything other than kind of watch from the new perspective of who you've helped yourself become. And that's pile number 2 for the week of April 5th through the 11th. I wonder what's going to be happening. Here we go. All right, I'm moving on to pile number 3. If you would like to book me for a private reading, pile number 2, there's a link to my website in the description box down below. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the, I'm trying to strike the wrong end. Hit the thumbs up button as well. Oh, I don't normally strike it. I usually light it in the match. I wasn't thinking. All right, guys, pile number 3. We're moving on here. Your candle was anointed with fast cash. And the candle is a pale pink because I thought it was pretty. Here we go. So I'm not setting my deck on fire here. All right, change of seasons. Things are changing. Healer of the ages. Action. Improving health. Okay. Peace. Oh, please. Downcast pride. Listen, the things that happen to us are not about our worth. They just aren't. Like we need adversity in our lives to grow. And we're actually here to grow. We all think we want these really easy lives. And like some ease and comfort is important. When you're living your purpose, you are protected. You are kept as comfortable as possible. That is not the same thing as being spoiled. But the downcast pride is you're not being judged when something goes wrong. You're not being judged when something is withheld. We actually need these things in order to evolve. And the more we evolve, the less likely we have to keep coming back here. So don't resent your struggles. Lean into them and they will be behind you sooner rather than later. Possess self-confidence. See, that downcast pride and possess self-confidence are such related energies. If you think that you're being punished in some way, it is about not understanding that you deserve all good things. And you do. Improving health is an improving mindset. I've got Healer of the Ages in action with peace. There's a big shift in, like, I think it's almost been like the last vestige of resentment for your existence, like the challenges that you have faced, is finally kind of evaporating. And you're finding peace, and you know, are beginning to know why you faced as many challenges as you did. True wisdom and making good choices in life. All the lessons you have learned are coming into play in the coming weeks. Navigating by the stars, follow your bliss. This is a good energy. Success expands in your life, gates of triumph. I have focus, and then I have face your shadow. So face your shadow with that downcast pride, because that is the shadow, the mirror, the dark mirror, the shadow influence deck. Even if you haven't had what you want in life yet, it's not about whether or not you deserve something. We choose our existences. Not absolutely everything that happens is for our highest good, because we make choices. The divine is never trying to torture us, I'm always trying to say. But misfortune is not a judgment. It is sometimes brought to us by other fallible people, sometimes by an ever-changing world. Even if you have had a reduction in life circumstances, no, it is not permanent. Improving health and peace with gates of triumph. It's just so close. It's just so close. Navigating about bliss, triumph, that all sounds pretty good to me. Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Feeling of nothing working. Empress in the upright. Devil in reverse. The Lovers in the upright. This card needing to make a choice. It can be the card for Geminis. It can be, Ten of Cups in the upright. Temperance in the upright. A lot of healing energy, group number 3, which is good. If it's the same group from last week, y'all have been through it, okay? You have. It's changing so radically. It's just changing so radically. In a spiritual awakening, there is a time period in which you will feel abandoned, where you feel very disconnected. At the beginning of a spiritual awakening, it's this wonderful, like blissful connection. Quite frequently lasts for about 2 weeks. It is this euphoric state where you feel like so much love, so much connection. And usually in the years that follow, because spiritual awakening can take years, that dissipates. That feeling of connection becomes harder to achieve. And then there hits that kind of the dark night of the soul thing where you feel very, very alone. And last week's group number 3 is like dawn was about to break, but it was dealing with all of these, difficult shadow energies about anger and resentment and like feeling very ill done to by the divine. And from what I got from it, it was not unwarranted. like I said, you guys have been through it. It's changing. 10 of Cups is the happiest card. It is lifetime partnerships. It doesn't have to just be that. It can be, because not everybody is going to pair up. And like that can be a very hurtful thing for people to hear. But truthfully, we can be as happy by ourselves as we will ever be with another person. Happiness that you make by yourself is within your own control. And it doesn't mean you can't ever enjoy another person, or another person can't ever increase your happiness. But part of what has been happening in your life, this feeling of isolation, this feeling of like nothing comes to me and I have to watch everybody else get it, is quite simply you're trying to find the ways to be truly independent so that your happiness it's absolute and within your control. And that is not the same thing as being solitary. It's not the same thing as being single. Your sun is coming up, essentially. This is the love of life. This can be a soulmate partnership. This is the end of a relationship with a person, place, or thing that is no longer serving you. In this case, I think it's the feeling of having healed from codependency. King of Swords in the upright, truth. Eight of Cups in the upright. I'm sorry, reverse, which can be a returning type of energy. Returning to self after going on a journey. Two of Pentacles in reverse. The Emperor in reverse. Ace of Wands in the upright. Ace of Wands been all over this. Prince of Pentacles in the upright. Eight of Swords in the upright. Four of Cups in the upright. Once more, the King of Pentacles in reverse has been all over the place. I don't know if it's that everyone is just insanely depressed at the moment, which it can be very challenging. Prince of Wands in the upright. I don't think so, though. I don't think so. Let me get the rest of this down. Peace and action. Nine of Cups in reverse. I just want two more, please. Can I get some more? Okay. I was actually accidentally inverted it. There we go. Nine of Swords. Oh my goodness. Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Swords, Three of Swords. Three of Wands. Five of Pentacles in reverse. After a very hard period of fear, anxiety, and depression, you are truly independent and you are strong and you are whole. Your personal truth, you fought so hard for all of this, and there's been disappointment and not a small amount of depression. Everything is actually changing. The night of the long, dark night of the soul, you're healed. You're healed. And it did get as dark as it could before the sun started coming back out. Change of seasons. Tree of life, true wisdom in making good choices in life. So it is hard, but we learn the most about ourselves through the worst things that happen to us. And whenever you've had a difficult experience, as you get on the other side of it, instead of cataloging what happened, ask yourself what lessons it taught to you. And there's a really good reason to do that. If you can figure out what the lesson that was being taught to you was, you don't have to repeat the lesson. That's why, having been through all of this really difficult energy, is going to be worth it. It will be worth it. And you were left feeling very alone, but you have never actually been alone. There's action in your life in a personal capacity next week. It involves, well, it could involve a Gemini, quite frankly. It might not. The King of Swords can. It involves truth and knowing the truth about yourself. You have the opportunity to move forward. You've had a hard time with that. You've had a hard time with the moving forward, and not because, like, it's not victim mentality stuff. It's not. What it is that even through a long and hard set of circumstances, you found a way to actually like yourself as a human being, because you try your very best. You try your very best to be a good person. And you don't want to essentially abandon that version of yourself. You're not. That version of yourself is simply, it doesn't stand separate from you. It's just now you protect it. And that's a very, very different thing than standing separate from it. Like, the person who's very trusting is still there, but now somebody has to earn your trust rather than you give it to everybody. The person who's very, very loving is there, but it's going to take a rare individual to open that back up to them, because your love has been misused in the past. The person who believed and had hope in all things is still there. And that is the part that there's no proviso with that. There's no except that you are an ever-evolving version of you. There is no past version of yourself. There is no future version of yourself. There is no present version of yourself that is not simply you. You from a different perspective at different points in time. And even if your dreams have changed, even if your circumstances has changed, even if the path of your life has changed, you are not leaving behind who you once were. You are traveling forward with the lessons taught to that version of yourself and the things that you value about yourself. And it's been so hard for you because you felt like you've been asked to leave those behind. And you never have been. You never have been. That part of you was in so much pain that it felt like it was a choice of like the only way to move forward is to cut myself off from that because that part of myself is in agony. You're healed. That anger that you finally accessed, that white hot fury I was talking about last week that you were directing towards your guides and towards life itself, until such time as you had reclaimed your anger, you were never going to be whole again. That's why you had all that anger. It was to restore you, not to reduce you. Anger is protective. The way that you stopped being able to protect yourself is you lost the ability to get angry with a person you loved because you always assumed it was your fault. You had to go through all of that rage, all of that frustration in order to find the ability to protect yourself again, but it's over now. It's over now. Your guides have wanted to, as angry as you have been with them, that is as happy as you will be with them. Gates of triumph and follow your bliss. Don't feel guilty. There was a point to that anger. The anger, you lost your ability to get angry because it wasn't safe. And your anger returned to you, not so that you could live in an energy of fury, but it was the last part of you, the last part that you didn't feel safe. Think it over. You didn't feel safe getting angry. You've been so angry, not because you're going to remain angry, but because you are finally safe. Okay, let's keep going here. I'll take another couple of Tree of Life wisdom. All right, let's see what else we've got. We'll get some enchanted map, coming to life, moonlight. That's intuition and coming to life, of course, doesn't need it's starting again. Strength, you did overcome. So group number 3, which was like, that was not even and this week is, sometimes the groups switch around, sometimes they don't. Group number 3, I do remember last week because what a joyful message it is to talk to people who are like, hey, you're a little bit furious with the universe. I totally get it. It was because you need your anger, and it's not so you can be rageful. It is so that you can always be safe going forward. And that's why you've been alone. That's why you've been alone. You found the ability to protect yourself again. Past life relationship. And they know how much it sucked to feel that. Like they know. They know. Like the white hot flames around your face type of why am I so afflicted? And it wasn't victim-y. It wasn't like poor pitiful me. It was really just like, what's going on? Why am I being denied everything? And it was to get you angry. And it was not to hurt you. It was to heal you. Keep an open mind, give your relationship a chance. So past life relationship, keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from usual type and expectations. Work on your partnership. Listen, I don't know if this is my twin flame group or not. But there has been an energy around my collective of something is nigh, something is happening. I'm not getting a ton of detail on how that is. And I'm not surprised with my great big manifesting collective that that's the case, because whenever we get details on something, we focus in on it and we accidentally start changing the outcomes, because we can change the future with our outcomes. But you might be noticing that your anger has, like, it's almost like a tub that's draining and someone has pulled the plug. They did get you angry on purpose. And it's not for a terrible reason. It's because something really bad was happening to you and you couldn't stop it, because instead of being outraged, you were hurt. And what was being done was a source of outrage. And it's funny, because the way you'll be able to tell that you're healed is hearing that that's Queen of Wands in reverse, that's anger, will not make you angry any longer. It'll just make sense. It'll just make sense. And they haven't liked it either. They haven't, and they will never blame you. They will never blame you. But it is actually over. The Nine of Swords in reverse is the end of fear and anxiety. The Knight of Pentacles in the upright. You have been restored to fullness, to wholeness, to who you're healed. Three of Swords in reverse. That's my card for healing. Okay, so group number 3. It was the last part of you. It was the last missing piece, the part that you put away. You haven't been punished. You've been restored. All right, so that was group number 3. I'm moving on to group number 4. Please don't forget to hit the like button. If you would subscribe as well, that would be great. If you want to book me for a private reading, there's a link to my website in the description box down below. I'd love a chance to leave for you in real life. And what are the circumstances around that? I think it's a wait and see. It's a little bit like a surprise party. All right, group number 4, Fireball, Insurance Agent John. All right, here we go, Dreaming Way Tarot. Your group is, Psychic Intuition is what your candle is anointed with. Very complex reason of I liked the colors on the candles, and that's why I chose them. Sometimes it'll be for like, hey, this relates to money, this relates to love, this time I was just like, pretty. All right, I have Treasured Memories. Cleansing waters, purification activates vibrant light force. Taking shelter, the within. To open your psychic eye again, like, please don't forget, spiritual vows are important. Saging is important. Energetic cleansing is important. If you sage, don't forget to follow up with incense or Palo Santo to restore the positive energy, or you can use a sound bowl. Root chakra works best for grounding out dark energies. And then actually, I like the heart chakra bowls to help reset the vibe. No. Well, what are we asking? Orphaned. All right. Fourth chakra, Archangel Raphael. Goddess of the Moon. I swear, I think the cards just told us, please don't forget to energetically cleanse your home. You're no longer going to be alone. By the way, if you're happily paired up, again, remember, not all the messages are going to be for everybody, even within a group. But you're going to feel far less alone in the world. Perchance to dream. To sleep, perchance. Good. Hopefully that's rest. Never judge another. Never judge what somebody is doing, their process, their path. And even if someone has done something terribly wrong, having judgment about what you allow in your life is one thing. Judging another human being as being worthy of this, that, or the other, try to avoid it. Just try to avoid it. It's because it sets these rigid barriers around you. Judgment and judging is a very, very rigid energy. It's not good for manifesting or for receiving. Breaking bad habits, self-acceptance, excellent mental health, and letting go of vices. Going forward, yay, with be open to love. Yeah, something's shifting there. I've had this Archangel Raphael, know, perchance to dream, and orphaned. Be open to love. All right, let's keep going here. Treasured memories. Don't just live in the past. Can I get some more here? This is very strange. What have I got here? You gonna do anything? There we go. The Hierophant in the upright. That's the card for Tauruses. It's also the card for faith. It can be universities. It can be marriages. It can be courthouses. It can be societal infrastructure. Two of Wands in the upright. Six of Swords in reverse. That can be delay. Eight of Cups in the upright. King of Swords in the upright. What's coming up? What was coming up for group number 4? Boy, I'm telling you, group number 3's message was like night and day from last week. So that was delightful. What have I got going for group number 4, though? Six of Pentacles in the upright. Five of Pentacles in reverse. Two of Pentacles in reverse. Three of Pentacles in reverse. Two of Cups in reverse. I like the Six of Pentacles. It's a balanced energy. It's a supportive energy. Eight of Wands in reverse. The World in reverse. Thank you. There we go. Pardon me, I'm coming back. Oh, there we go. Seven of Cups in reverse. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. The Chariot in reverse. Something is coming to an end. King of Swords can actually be Gabriel. It can be the spirit of air. It can also be a judge. The Empress in reverse. You. King of Cups in reverse. Okay, Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Oh my God. There is an easing of circumstances around you like crazy. There we go. The Moon in the upright, Five of Swords in reverse. Strength in reverse. King of Pentacles in reverse. And then I would like one more. What are you saying? Ten of Wands, Queen of Pentacles. Okay. Your actions, listen, there's a delay on something, but it's very brief. It's very brief. Something is coming to you in a monetary sense. Somebody else dropped a ball in a situation, like they neglected to do something, and it does apparently bring something to an end. Like a mistake somebody else made helps finally bring something to an end for you. You're going to be feeling strong and secure, but my goodness, did it take a while to get there? You've been so confused. You've just been so confused. But you're moving forward once again. Listen, this very slight delay energy around that, it genuinely is. It's a very, very slight delay on something. It's a shift of... Hold on just a second. I'm really sorry. No. No. No and orphaned. So group number 2, I'm sorry, group number 4. I always have like a divorce group or the end of a marriage group floating around with that two cups in reverse. It can be that. I kind of don't think that's the focus here. I think that there is a complete energy around something, and that you are trying to move forward, and you are. There has been something comes to an end, but there is a delay around when it will be finalized. There is such a good energy around, like after a period of feeling so incredibly alone, like as if you are carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. It finally, like your burdens are being released. Something is coming to you in the form of like an easing of your circumstances. You will feel more supported. You will feel surrounded by essentially the powers that be. You're going to know that you've never been walking a path alone, but it sure has felt that way. Somebody made a mistake. It wasn't you. It wasn't you. Somebody made a mistake. Pay close attention. You'll spot it. You'll spot it. You've got a detailed mind. Bone collector, flying, greater perspective, wounds of the past. You're stepping beyond. You're just not living in the energy of the past. You're just not. You want to move on. You want to move on. Ghostlands. That's that energy of the past all over the place. Take a greater perspective on your past. It's no longer an active energy. It's not defining of where you're going. It just shows you where you've been. 2 more times, please. I'd really like 1 more card, please. Rock bottom. Well, not that one. And then gentle gardener. Here's the thing. It's getting easier in the coming days. It's a monetary easing of circumstances. It's an emotional easing of circumstances. You are essentially, everything that you have learned is coming into play about yourself, about your own strength, about your own confidence. There is something that finally it's done. It's done. And you feel released by it. It could be a relationship. It could be something that you've poured in a lot of effort on, and now you realize it was wasted effort. I kind of don't get that feeling. It is the end of a feeling of insecurity. The King of Cups in reverse is, of course, like my least favorite card for like depicting a partner, because it has a tendency to depict a narcissist. That is you if this is somebody who has been in your life, they're not going to be much longer. They're just not going to be much longer. They are fading from your view. And now, like so much of your journey over the last couple of years has been about trying to get to this point in time where resolution is finally available to you. And they did, they made a mistake. That's okay. That's okay. It actually benefits you. There is something to your benefit next week, and it is next week. It's a mistake somebody else made. You're one of the people who catches it, but don't drive yourself crazy looking for it. Yeah, you actually really don't need to do anything. You don't need to do anything. Treasured memories. As you walk away from the past, don't leave everything behind. There was a difficult set of circumstances, and it's colored your view of your own life. Celebrate your life like you're almost on the other side of something. Finances and career or financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. Pay attention to the red flags. Let go of control issues. Keep an open mind. Let go of control issues. Allow this situation to unfold naturally. Nothing really at all. Pay attention to the red flags. I'm telling you, there's a sign of something. There's the word that keeps coming through is they made a mistake. They made a mistake. And again, nothing that you need to do with that. What an interesting message. What you're being asked to do, group number 4, though, is to make sure that you don't throw out the baby with the bathwater when it comes to treasured memories. There is something that you just want to leave behind so much. Don't leave yourself back there. Don't leave yourself back there. Even if something took up a substantial chunk of your life and did not have a particularly kind or beneficial ending, it's not a sign that your life has been like constructed on a faulty foundation. Okay, here we go. There are still things to treasure from there. 2 swords in reverse. As clarity, vision, being out of denial, something becoming clear. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? I'm using spooky this week. I don't really know why. I just felt like it. All piles got a little spooked. Here we go. Trust your intuition. Can I get more, please? Like I can't just leave it there, Jade. Let's go. Thank you. I will talk again. It's just this is long-winded. Let's go. It's all around the same thing. Somebody made a mistake. There's clarity around that. There's also goddess energy involved here. So there is resolution in your life on a matter that has taken up a lot of your time. Somebody you've been dealing with that has really, like they're never there to stop a conflict. They're always there to win, and they don't care who pays what price. They made a key mistake. They made a big error. It is going to be an opportunity for closure. Don't leave behind every good part just to get past the bad. Okay. All right. So that was the Spirit Guide Weekly for April 5th through the 11th. Thank you so much for joining me. If you'd like a private reading with me, there's a link to my website in the description box